my beloved child, the weight you've been carrying in your chest, that silent pressure that grows heavier every time you think of that one conversation you keep postponing, it's not there by accident. I, your God, placed that stirring in your spirit because the words you've been too afraid to speak are the very words that will unlock your next season. You keep telling yourself it's not the right time, that silence is peace, that avoidance is protection, but child, what you're calling safety is actually your prison. You've built walls where I asked you to build bridges, and every night when you lie awake replaying what you could say, how it might go, or what could go wrong, that's my spirit whispering. Freedom lives on the other side of honesty. You have spent so long trying to protect your peace that you've accidentally protected your pain. You've buried truths under politeness, swallowed tears behind smiles, and convinced yourself that avoiding the storm will keep you dry. But storms are not meant to destroy you, they are meant to clear the air. The conversation you've been avoiding is not about confrontation, it's about release. You think you're sparing someone's feelings, but what you're really doing is suffocating your own growth. The voice you keep silencing is the key to your deliverance. You've mistaken stillness for peace, but child, the quiet you're living in is not calm, it's captivity. You've been praying for breakthrough while holding your breath, asking me to move mountains you've been too afraid to face. But I cannot bless the mask you wear. I can only bless the truth you're willing to speak. You've asked me to heal relationships, to mend what's broken, to bring clarity, yet you've ignored the small nudge that keeps saying, speak. Say what needs to be said. I have not called you to live in confusion or false harmony. I have called you to live in freedom, and sometimes freedom looks like a difficult conversation that sets your soul on fire again. The person you need to speak to is not your enemy, they are your assignment. This is not about winning an argument, this is about ending a cycle. You've prayed for peace, but peace cannot live in pretense. You've asked me to remove heaviness, but how can I lift what you won't let go of? I know your heart is tired. I know you fear that if you speak, everything will fall apart. But my child, sometimes things have to fall apart so they can fall into place. You think silence will keep them close, but silence has only kept you stuck. I am not asking you to shout, to fight, or to prove a point. I am asking you to speak with love, with clarity, with courage that comes from knowing I will be in the room with you. I will give you the words. I will soften the hearts involved. You don't have to rehearse or overthink it. Just trust that what I place on your tongue is holy, and what is holy cannot harm you. You see, there is a generational chain that breaks when you finally say what your ancestors couldn't. There is a curse of fear that ends when you stop pretending everything is fine. You have been living with anxiety that was never meant to be yours, it's the byproduct of everything you've suppressed. I didn't design you to carry unspoken words, I designed you to release them in love. Every time you avoid this conversation, you delay your blessing. You delay your peace. You delay your destiny. There are miracles tied to your honesty. There are doors that will not open until you speak your truth. The enemy has tried to convince you that silence is strength, but true strength is standing in truth, even when your voice trembles. I know you fear rejection, misunderstanding, judgment, but child, who you are becoming requires that you stop living for their approval. Freedom is not found in being right, it's found in being real. This conversation is not about them changing, it's about you releasing what has been rotting inside you. You think you're protecting yourself, but avoidance has only multiplied your pain. What you don't say turns into what you carry, and what you carry turns into what consumes you. But I have come to free you from that. I have come to show you that words spoken in truth carry resurrection power. The same way I spoke light into darkness, you will speak healing into what has been heavy. This is your divine moment of liberation. The one you've been avoiding is not greater than the calling within you. You've prayed for me to move mountains, but I am telling you now, the mountain is your silence. The moment you speak, it will crumble. The moment you express what you've buried, peace will rush in like a flood. You will feel lighter, you will breathe deeper, and you will realize that you were never protecting anyone by staying silent, you were only postponing your freedom. So, my beloved, do not be afraid. The conversation you've been avoiding is not meant to destroy you, it's meant to deliver you. I have gone before you. I will be beside you. I will walk you through every word, and by the time it ends, you will not recognize the weight you once carried. You will understand that truth was never your enemy, it was your key. My beloved child, I see how your heart beats faster every time you think of that conversation, how your throat tightens as though the words are caught somewhere between courage and fear, and I, your God, whisper gently, this is not punishment, this is preparation. The conversation you have been avoiding is the very place where your chains will shatter. You have prayed for peace, for clarity, for breakthrough, and I have been answering in ways you did not expect. Every restlessness, every uneasy dream, every moment when silence no longer feels comforting, that is me moving within you, urging your spirit to face what your flesh keeps fleeing. You have spent too long pretending you are fine, convincing yourself that holding your tongue is wisdom, when in truth it has been a quiet disobedience to the freedom I've already prepared for you. You see, freedom is not something you find, it's something you speak. You have cried to me asking why certain blessings haven't manifested, why relationships feel heavy, why your joy has been dimmed even in moments of peace, and I tell you this now, it's because I cannot build miracles upon buried emotions. The words you keep suppressing are blocking what I am trying to release. When you finally speak your truth, the pressure will turn into power. The enemy wants you silent because he knows that the moment you speak, his grip on your life will break. That conversation you keep postponing is not about confrontation, it's about completion. I have watched you replay it in your mind 1,000 times, building walls of what ifs and fear of rejection, but I have already gone before you. The outcome is not in your control, but obedience is. When you release what's been unspoken, I will release what's been withheld. You have been walking with a burden that doesn't belong to you. That person you must face, whether it's a parent, a friend, a partner, or even yourself, does not hold your freedom, you do. And when you speak with love, with humility, and with honesty, the spiritual atmosphere around you will shift. Angels will move in that room. Words will come that you didn't plan, yet they will carry divine weight. For I have placed in your mouth the power to heal what was broken and to end what was toxic. You must understand, my child, avoidance is not peacekeeping, it's delay making. You are delaying deliverance by protecting dysfunction. You think silence keeps things calm, but calm is not always holy. Sometimes the shaking is necessary for the rebuilding. I have been shaking the walls of your comfort because I need to build something stronger inside you. This conversation is not random. It is a divine appointment disguised as fear. Every great move of mine begins with a word spoken in faith, and this is your word moment. The same way I said, "Let there be light." I am asking you to let there be truth. Truth is light, and once you release it, darkness cannot stay. The person you must speak to may not respond as you hope. They may resist, misunderstand, or even reject you, but their reaction is not your responsibility. Your freedom does not depend on their approval, it depends on your obedience. And what comes after will not be destruction, but deliverance. Because after that conversation, something inside you will shift forever. You will stop replaying old memories that drain your spirit. You will stop overthinking every word you said or didn't say. You will stop feeling small in places where I've called you to be bold. You have been waiting for a sign to speak, and this, right here, right now, is your sign. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It will never come because you create the moment by stepping into courage. Do you not know that I have already gone before you to prepare the hearts involved? Do you not see that the same spirit stirring you is working in them as well? The fear you feel is not a warning, it's resistance from the enemy who knows what your freedom will cost him. He trembles at the thought of you standing in your truth, because he knows that once you do, he will lose the power to torment you through guilt, silence, and shame. I have seen the nights you rehearsed your pain in prayer but stopped short of saying what needed to be said aloud. I have heard the way your heart cried, "Lord, please fix it." And I am saying to you now, this is how I fix it. Not through avoidance, but through truth. Not through silence, but through light. Not through waiting, but through obedience. And I promise you this, my beloved, when you walk into that moment, you will not walk alone. My spirit will be your voice when your words falter. My peace will cover you like a shield when your emotions tremble. My love will soften the atmosphere, disarming the tension before you even speak. You will not crumble, you will rise. And when it is done, you will feel an unexplainable lightness, the kind of relief that only truth can give. You will breathe differently, laugh freely, and finally rest at night without the noise of unspoken words echoing in your mind. This is your key, child. You have prayed for an open door, but the lock was never outside, it was inside your heart. And the key has always been in your tongue. Speak, and the door will open. Speak, and the heaviness will fall. Speak, and you will step into the peace you've been pretending to have. I am not asking you to start a war, I am asking you to start healing. And when you do, what once felt like confrontation will turn into clarity, and what once felt like fear will turn into freedom. This is your divine moment. Don't hide from it, walk into it, because on the other side of this conversation is the version of you that has been waiting to finally breathe. My child, the reason your heart grows heavier each time you think of that conversation is because your spirit knows it's overdue, and I, the Lord your God, have been stirring that discomfort within you not to torment you, but to free you. You have been praying for release, for clarity, for the next season of your life to begin. But how can a new chapter start when you still carry the unspoken weight of the old one? That conversation you've been avoiding is not an obstacle, it's the bridge to your deliverance. You keep telling yourself that time will heal it, but time cannot heal what truth has not touched. Every sleepless night, every sudden wave of sadness, every random memory that resurfaces, it is all me reminding you that unfinished truth keeps the soul captive. You've mistaken numbness for peace. But silence does not mean healing, it means delay. You have been holding on to your words as if they were a shield, afraid that speaking will cause things to fall apart. But don't you see, my child, that some things must fall apart before they can fall into place? You keep replaying the possible outcomes, fearing rejection, anger, or loss, but I am telling you now, I have already gone ahead of you. I am softening hearts you thought were made of stone, and even if they do not receive you with love, your obedience will still unlock what has been locked inside your spirit. You have been walking in partial peace, but I want you to walk in total freedom. You pray for me to move mountains, but sometimes I move through your voice. You are the earthquake I use to shake loose what no longer serves you. That conversation is not random, it is divine timing calling you forward. For too long, you have carried a silence that was never meant to be permanent. You told yourself that avoiding the topic was the mature thing to do, that letting go quietly was strength, but I see the tension beneath your smiles, the questions behind your laughter, and the pain you hide beneath the phrase. It's okay. It was never okay, and pretending hasn't made it so. The truth is, my child, that silence became a prison. And I am calling you out of it. The words you're afraid to speak are the very ones that will set you free. Every time you swallow them back, the enemy smiles because he knows that unspoken truth is unclaimed power. But I have not given you a spirit of fear. I have given you power, love, and a sound mind. Speak, even if your voice trembles, for your trembling is holy, it means your spirit is awakening. Do not be afraid of the outcome, because your obedience is what brings the blessing, not the response. Some people will not understand your truth, and that's okay. Their acceptance is not required for your healing. I am your witness, and I am the one who vindicates your honesty. When you finally open your mouth and speak, angels will fill that space. The words will not just pass through the air, they will cut through chains you didn't know were binding you. You will feel my presence wrapping around you, steadying your tone, guiding your heart, and even if tears fall, they will not be tears of fear but of release. You will realize that all this time, the fear of that conversation was worse than the conversation itself. The enemy made it appear bigger than it was because he knew that once you faced it, his access to you would end. That is why he whispers, "Don't say anything," hoping you'll stay silent just a little longer, but I am whispering louder now, saying, "Speak, child. It's time." You will not lose peace by speaking, you will gain it. You will not lose love by being truthful, you will refine it. And even if this truth ends something, it will only end what was false, leaving space for what is real. I see how loyal you've been to keeping things peaceful, but I did not create you to keep false peace. I created you to walk in divine truth. Peace built on silence is temporary. Truth built in love is eternal. Do not be afraid if your words cause a storm, for I often use storms to reveal who truly stands with you. The ones who love you through honesty are the ones I sent to walk with you into destiny. You have hidden your truth out of fear of hurting others, but in the process you have been hurting yourself. You think you're protecting them, but you're protecting their comfort at the cost of your freedom. And now I say enough. The time of silence is over. I am giving you courage now, supernatural courage that will rise up inside you when the moment comes. You won't have to force the words, they will flow, because they've been waiting to come out since the day I placed them in your heart. And when you speak, do it with love, not anger. Let your tone be soft, your heart be open, and your words be rooted in peace, for I will be in every syllable. What you think will be confrontation will become restoration. And even if restoration does not come with that person, it will come within you. You will walk lighter, breathe easier, and find joy in places that used to trigger pain. The guilt you've carried will lift, the shame will fade, and you will finally understand that your voice was always part of your healing. My beloved, you keep asking me for signs, and I keep sending you moments of conviction, quiet whispers in your spirit, divine nudges in your heart, and still you hesitate. But this message you are hearing right now is not coincidence, it is confirmation. This is your sign. Do not let another day go by carrying words that were meant to be spoken. The healing you crave is on the other side of that conversation, and when you walk away from it, you will not walk as the same person, you will walk as someone unshackled, unafraid, and unbound. And when you close that door behind you, I will open another, brighter one ahead, leading you into the peace that no silence ever gave you. My child, you have reached the edge of the silence that once felt like safety, but now it feels like weight, and I, your father, am saying, this is the moment where you must let go of fear and finally step into the light of truth, for the conversation you have avoided is not just about words, it is about destiny. The chains that have held you down have never been physical. They've been built from your own hesitation, from the what-ifs that whisper louder at night, from the false peace that told you, it's fine, when your soul was screaming for release. I have watched you try to distract yourself with work, with busyness, with people, with scrolling through screens just to drown out the noise of what I keep bringing back to your mind. But every time you try to push it away, it returns, because I will not allow my chosen one to remain in bondage disguised as calm. You prayed for me to deliver you, and I have. I have delivered you to this moment, where your obedience will break what years of pretending could not. I have already prepared the path. The outcome is not your concern, only your courage is. The words will not be heavy once they leave your heart, for they were never meant to be carried this long. You have built stories of fear about what will happen when you speak, but you forget that I, the Lord of hosts, am not sending you into battle alone. Archangel Michael himself will stand beside you, cutting through spiritual resistance, silencing confusion, and covering your voice with divine authority. Even if the person you speak to reacts with anger, even if they reject your truth, know that you did not fail, for speaking truth in love is obedience, and obedience is victory. Do not mistake their reaction for your responsibility. You are not accountable for their response, only for your honesty. And once those words leave your mouth, heaven will move in ways you cannot imagine. You will feel a lifting, a strange calm washing over you, as though the invisible weight you've been dragging finally loosens its grip. That's not emotion, that's deliverance. That's me setting you free from the guilt you didn't deserve to carry, from the blame that never belonged to you. For too long you have been rehearsing what to say, but you have forgotten that I already know every word before it leaves your tongue. When the time comes, do not rely on your mind, rely on my spirit. I will speak through you. Even your pauses will have power. Even your tears will carry revelation. Because this isn't just about speaking, it's about reclaiming your voice, the same voice that the enemy tried to silence through fear, shame, and manipulation. You thought you were protecting peace, but you were protecting chains. I am the God who speaks order into chaos, and now I am commanding you, speak, and the walls will fall. You have prayed for signs, and I have shown you through dreams, through random verses, through conversations that echo the same truth. This moment cannot be delayed any longer. Every time you felt restless, every time your chest tightened at the thought of that person, every time you replayed the situation in your mind, it was me nudging you toward release. I do not want you to live half free, half healed, half trusting. I want you whole. I want your spirit light again. I want your laughter to be real, not rehearsed. I want your worship to rise from joy, not from exhaustion. And when you finally obey, when you finally face what you feared, something miraculous will shift. I will not only heal your heart, I will heal the generational silence that has been passed down through your lineage. You will not realize it at first, but your act of courage will break patterns that have kept your family in cycles of misunderstanding and avoidance. Your truth will become a weapon of light that cuts through decades of unspoken pain. The freedom you feel will ripple into your children, into your future, into the unseen generations yet to come. I have chosen you as the one to end it. You are not just speaking for yourself, you are speaking for those who never had the chance, for those who swallowed their truth until it crushed their spirit. You are their redemption. You are their voice. And once you have spoken, I will replace your trembling with confidence. The same mouth that once feared confrontation will now speak life and wisdom into others. I will use your story as a light for those trapped in the same silence you once called home. People will find comfort in your courage. They will find healing in your honesty. You will tell them, I was once afraid to speak, but when I finally did, everything changed. And it will be true. Because after that conversation, I will open new doors, doors that fear kept locked, doors that lead to relationships built on truth, not performance, doors that lead to divine opportunities where your voice carries influence and peace follows your presence. You will wake up lighter. You will no longer dread seeing their name, hearing their voice, or revisiting that memory. What once haunted you will now remind you of how strong you became through me. And then, when the peace settles, when you finally rest without the restless pull of regret, I will whisper again, but this time not to call you to speak, but to remind you that you did it. That you faced the storm and didn't drown. That you trusted me, and I turned your obedience into liberation. My child, your freedom has already been written, your only task now is to walk into it. So breathe deep. Lift your chin. Let your heart steady. The moment you speak, heaven will stand still, listening, watching, blessing. Because the truth that once frightened you will become the key that unlocks not only your peace, but the future I have been preparing for you all along. And once it is done, you will look back and say, now I understand why God made me wait, because I wasn't waiting for them to change, I was waiting for myself to be brave enough to speak,